Okay, so let's talk about the Heated Rivalry tie-in book covers. What a tie-in book cover means is that after an adaptation of a book comes out, you get new covers of the book that features aspects of the show and features mentioning of the show. So like, oh, this has been on television, you may know this from TV. This could involve elements of the typography of the TV show. It could feature the characters and showing the characters and sort of the general vibe. It mentions that it's been on a TV channel, that sort of thing. And since this is part of a book series, you also want to make sure that there's a possibility to extend it beyond the specific book that it's adapting. And you want to include an element that makes sure not only is this part of a TV show, it is part of a series of books, something that happens also quite frequently. But this could also include sort of the general visual style of the show. And since I would argue Heated Rivalry has a relatively recognizable lighting and cinematography style, you may want some aspects of that on the book cover as well so that people can recognize it better. So let's look about some of the previous covers and the current cover that we have. So this was the very first cover that they had. It doesn't really tell you that much about the show. It doesn't like explicitly say hockey. It doesn't communicate anything other than gay and hot, which is not wrong. Now, the current cover looks like this, and it's much more friendly. You have romance, you have hockey, but it does look a little YA. Like, it goes a little against what the TV show is doing, which is certainly very adult. Like, this is giving, I don't want to say heartbreaker, but it is certainly giving red, white, and royal blue. And the show is a romance, but it's not quite as frivolous and not quite as YA as this is. And then we have the poster from the TV show, and we do have the two main characters, and they're facing off, and it's kind of a little bit of a romantic tension. And they do have the logo, and they have a couple of elements here that make sense. But I don't know where those colors are from. That's not what the TV show looks like. It's very naturalistic, and this is not. I guess the like mildly bisexual lighting does make this look a little bit more gay, but it makes it look a little bit cartoony, which again, I don't think this reflects either the content or the visual style of the show. So here's what needs to be on the cover. First of all, you need to start with Connor Starr and Hudson Williams. Like, they need to be prominent, they need to be in focus. You have to have the show, and the show is the two of them at this point. You also want to show some sort of romantic tension. Like, this is from the Quinn photo shoot. Like, something that indicates not only are these two looking at you, like in the previous GQ shot, but like this is a thing where they're in a potentially romantic relationship. At least there's romantic tension. Another thing you want is ice hockey needs to be in there in some sort of way. Like, you can't show them in a suit, or certainly not in fairy wings in like a field or whatever. But like, this is a hockey show. This is what people know it for. There needs to be some sort of hockey on there. Also, these two are some of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood right now. You want to make sure those faces aren't framed.